Welcome to the Franchise Woman podcast, where passion and purpose collide, profits are made, and relationships forged. I'm Rebecca Monet, CEO and Chief Scientist at Zoracle Profiles. I'm here with my friend and co-host, community advocate, speaker, author, and entrepreneur, Tracy Kawa. Tracy, we tried to do this interview a couple of weeks ago with Danielle Wellings, and we had all kinds of technical issues, so she's back again today. Woohoo! So Danielle Wellings is the driven and visionary CEO of ONESource Moving Solutions, a trailblazing company offering top-notch move management services to seniors, professionals, and families. Danielle has deep roots in entrepreneurship, starting with her family's restaurant business. Transitioning from there, she gained invaluable experience in the family's franchise operations before eventually becoming the owner of ONESource Moving Solutions. Danielle has steered ONESource towards remarkable growth, transforming it into a thriving franchise-based enterprise. Danielle, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me back, Rebecca and Tracy. So sorry about our remote technical internet issues at our office. So I appreciate you being patient with me and having me back again.
No
No
worries.
worries.
We deal with that occasionally ourselves. So I personally am fascinated with family business. That's my background as well. And I'm just always interested to hear how people got started in family business. So tell us where it all began.
Well, my grandpa would pull up his big blue Chrysler, whatever car that was, in the 70s and honk his horn. And I basically started doing dishes at 9 years old and collecting my $5 and working all day until he decided it was time to go back home because once I left with him, I was stuck with him all day. So, a lot of years of, always, giving back to the family business, providing good service there. I did stay at the business until I was about 24. So I did move into managing the whole entire restaurant. At that time, my grandpa fell ill and couldn't come back to work for almost a year.
Oh,
So it
wow.
was either me or I'm not sure who else.
So Danielle, let me understand. So your grandfather started the restaurant, and then did your parents get involved and then you got involved, or did it skip a generation?
No, my mom was a little bit involved. Actually, my mom, before I was born, my dad was a busboy, and my mom and dad met because my grandpa owned the restaurant, and my mom and my dad ended up getting married and then having me. And over the years, some of those restaurants some of them closed locations, some of them moved, but the one location that was close to our house, way out in a little town called Puce, Ontario, that's where we had the one restaurant, and that's where the restaurant that I grew up with. Uh, or yeah. And then my dad is in the franchising business. He's with the Floor Coverings International brand, and he actually still has his franchise today in Windsor, Ontario. And I worked in that business till 2014 when I started ONESource Moving Solutions.
So
I think it's fascinating.
from bus boy to franchisor.
Yes,
Amazing.
yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yes.
That's an origin story for sure.
Well, I mean, he had a flooring store, you know what I mean? He evolved from being the busboy after, he had children responsibilities and things like that. So, after he left the restaurant business, he did open or worked at a flooring store. Then he owned a flooring store with a partner, and then that dissolved. And then he bought a franchise. So I learned the franchising industry from my dad being a franchisee. And once ONESource Moving Solutions started to diversify, because we were only senior based when we started in 2014. And as we grew and evolved, it became, oh, I could use your service, but I'm not a senior, and things like that. So that's how we evolved to be rebranded. We rebranded in 2019. And we are trademarked in Canada, and we just got our trademark back last week for the US. So we are now fully trademarked in the US as well.
Congratulations. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very
That was a
exciting.
5-year process.
Wow.
So tell us a little bit about the services that ONESource Moving Solutions offers, and that whole process of becoming a franchisor.
So ONESource offers an all-inclusive move management service, which means anything in the transitional process. Sometimes even if you want to age at home, so maybe an older adult wants to stay at home but needs some things moved around in their home, moved around or moved out. But we do offer that full service from sorting your home to prepping your house for the market. Once your house is sold, then we do packing, full unpack service, or content dispersal. Any contents that are left that you don't want to have. We do online auctioning. We do sale of items, donate, discard. We do the full unpack service, full setup service. We hang art, hook up electronics. Anything you need. We also do the deep clean for closing of the property. So yeah, like a full service, whatever the client needs in that transitional process. We also do filter through third-party services, meaning painting, fix the fence, I need, I don't know, flooring, or we need the carpets cleaned, or things like that. We filter out all the third-party services. We arrange for all that to happen to get your house on the market as well. So we are a full service, all encompassed. So this way the client only needs to talk to one person, where we manage and make sure everything happens for, first of all, maximum value, and they move to their new home smoothly.
I didn't realize it was so all encompassing, like one-stop shop for everything.
Yeah.
How amazing is that?
Yeah. We say we're the ONESource solution for everything, for all things moving.
That's the name, ONESource.
Yeah.
So I have a question. What is it about? Only because you've experienced both being in a family business, again, working your way up, starting as, bus girl, right? Going all the way up to owner of your own franchise. What is it that you love most about franchise?
What I love most about franchising is I get to teach others of what I love to do. And this way they can do it and make a difference in people's lives. And it's honestly so rewarding when, some of our franchisees will call in, they'll be like, oh, guess what? And I'm like, that's why, this is the why, on why you do things, because it's so rewarding to help people in one of the most stressful times of their lives, and things like that. It's so rewarding to teach others what I love to do.
Nice.
So this whole idea of being literally taking care of every detail, from painting to landscaping to moving, all of that kind of stuff. This idea of having to juggle it all during a very difficult time, and having a source you can go to that says, I'm overwhelmed, I'm having to move because I'm ill, I got to go to a nursing home, or this thing happened or the other thing happened. To have someone you can go to that kind of sorts it all out for you can be a massive psychological benefit, never mind all the logistical benefits that they have. So tell me about that piece, Danielle. This is a difficult time for people. psychologically. How do you deal with that? Is it simply just taking things off the plate for them, or do you have to go face to face and say, let's talk about this?
Yeah, so we do sometimes have to talk to our families because family dynamics are a thing. Everybody has a different opinion. Everybody, likes different things. But ultimately, we talk to our families about it's about the loved one we're moving. Is it your mom? Is it your dad? Is it your aunt? Is it your uncle? Is it a family friend? Is it a neighbor? That loved one and that person, it's all about them. It's really not about anybody else. And we all need to keep that top of mind. So we talk our families through whether this matches or doesn't match in the end when we move them and set them up. The decorating part of it, things are eclectic nowadays anyway.
Yeah.
And, we just look to see what pieces we're bringing, what fits best, and how we can make it all transform. And we show families how it's okay if mom or dad or aunt or uncle or whomever, brother, sister, yeah, because we move people's brothers and sisters and all that kind of, all those people. And we show them how it's okay if that's not your favorite chair, it's their favorite chair. And that's all that matters. So we talk to our families about it's okay. And if we bring it, and if that's what they love, if it doesn't fit, we'll take it away. So it's just showing everyone that it's all about the person themselves. It's all about their life. It's all about their legacy and how they want to have their home because it's their home and not anyone else's home. We all have our own homes, but we always need to always be aware of whose home it really is.
I love what you said about family dynamics because I think that's another thing that I'm so fascinated with. Um, how do you think that working in all of, these different family businesses within your family prepared you to prepare the members of the families?
Well, there was one thing, especially when you start working in family business, and I don't know how you do things, Tracy, but we always would say we still have to drink beer at night. So it doesn't matter what happened during the day, we still have to drink beer at night. So even, it's actually my daughter is my director of franchise development.
Oh, nice.
So it's funny now that my daughter is in the business, we still have to dust it off. Like we still have to drink beer at night.
Yeah.
So no matter what happens during the day, no matter what conflict we have or opinions that we have, I shouldn't say conflict, opinions, it's an opinion, and we still need to find a solution, and we still need to drink at the end of the day. Not meaning that we drink every day, but that's just kind of the saying that we had over the years working in different family dynamics, from my grandfather, even as a young child, to the flooring business, right? You work in the flooring business. We all have different opinions again. But we, because my siblings also started working in the business as well, with my dad. So, you get a lot of, and then we get together at Christmas, and that's all we do is talk about work, right? And we try to not do that so much. But no matter what fights we had during the day, we still had to drink beer at the end.
It kind of goes hand in glove with that relational advice of never go to bed angry, right? This is even more relational, which is once that's done, we're going to sit down, we're going to have dinner, we're going to have a drink, and we've almost compartmentalized things. It's a talent, honestly, to be able to compartmentalize. This is business, this is family, right? And
Yes.
So one of the things, Danielle, you mentioned, since you are kind of a one-stop shop and you handle all of these things, you got to be crazy organized or operating from some list or software? I mean, how do you keep it all together, and how do you help others keep it all together?
So, of course, we have a CRM system, but again, we still have paper, a paper trail, especially with our older adult clients. With our younger clients, it's easy to, but our older adult clients, we still have a paper trail. We still have everything documented, everything that happens on that day, and then a plan for the next, because some of our clients, we're there for 100 hours of work. Especially, sometimes when we're doing a full depersonalized, just depending, they could have a home, 4 or 5,000 square feet. They've lived there for 50 years, and now we're pulling out every nook and cranny, because sometimes you don't really realize once it comes out how much is there. So, our team is very, we also, especially with franchisees, we train for 2 weeks. We do have a 2-week training program, and then an ongoing training too. They can go online to revisit, rewatch those videos if they, need a reminder or anything like that, or call the office. Our head office always has someone, even on the weekends, like text. One of us is going to answer right away. If you forget what to do, because there are so many moving parts, and it is so personal. It is so personal. But we do have systems in place. We do have, each part has a different kind of phase to it. Just depends on, this is what you do first, next. We have spreadsheets and things like that, that we give clients too, like who do we call? And each franchisee has a different spreadsheet, because it might be Hydro One, it might be NWIN somewhere else. It might be, I don't know. I'm just grasping
Same.
hydro companies that I know in my area, but things like that. So, everything is streamlined, and we guide our franchisees on how the process has to go. But we do have a custom CRM system for our franchisees, and for the team members, like for the team members of the franchise, they have to know how to execute the job as well.
So as an emotion junkie, I need to feel something, right? I want to know, tell us a time that, like a story, something that, like a time you were really moved by the impact that you made with either a family or a franchisee, or, something that moved you, that stayed with you.
So, I actually, one of our client, I think we moved him in 2015 or 16. And he just passed away actually in November. And we moved him and his wife together. Just before we moved them, actually, she had cataract surgery, and it was a 50-50 chance, or some type of an eye surgery, that she was going to maybe become blind. Well, during that surgery, she did become blind.
Oh my.
And she could see a shadow, but that's about the extent of it. So we moved them to a beautiful retirement community on Riverside Drive, overlooking the water. They had a beautiful suite, and things like that. And then her health was declining. So then we helped move her to a little bit more of assisted living in the same community. And she stayed there for a little while, and then we redecorated, because of course the house sold, all the furniture left. So we ended up going and buying the same furniture she had in her old house. We found like a replica of it, and we decorated her new room in
Wow.
that same furniture. And then the husband lived like on the 10th floor, and she lived on the 2nd floor. And as life went about and things changed, and we moved her again, we helped here and there. And the daughter sent us a letter after her father passed away, and we cleaned out his suite, and we gave certain things to certain charities at their request. We delivered some stuff to some of the children. And she said, I just want to thank you for the last 7 years helping my family. Like, so to, for 7 years, we helped someone here and there, whatever they needed, and this kind of thing. So, this is the reason, we do what we do because of all of those notes and letters and, you know, people, give us review. Now it's online reviews, right? But still, some people still write us letters, and thank us for helping them when they maybe couldn't be here or couldn't be there to help. So,
And it wasn't even here and there. It was you helped their family during their life transitions.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Must have taken such an incredible burden off of her to be the sole person to handle those transitions. And I love the fact that you bought the same furniture because you gave this
Yeah.
woman who
Yeah.
was now blind a sense of familiarity.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
We
one.
ended up, it was just so, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
What a beautiful story. Great question, Tracy. It is a beautiful story, and it is a major transition that, 3 different times they had to go through over a period of time, and each time you're hand in glove with them. So, question, if folks that are working for you on your team were to describe you as a leader, as an innovator, how would they describe you? If you would just give us a few words, this, I think, is how my team sees me.
Well, there could be some pretty funny things. They, they always never understand how I get everything done. They're like, I don't understand how you get everything done. Like you're just like, it's like you never sleep or you never, you know, um, things like that. It's, they understand that I have a lot of energy.
Mhm.
And I think to be a leader, you need to be organized and be always addressing everyone. Like when our team comes into our corporate office, my office is on the other side with Sarah's office, and we kind of have it divided, trying, on the franchising side of things. And I still get up and go and say hello to everybody and what happened today? Like anything happen? I always want to know what happened. And they're always laughing. They're always like, oh my God, you always got to go in the warehouse and just chat with everybody for a few minutes because it's, you know, they do, what I did in the beginning before I started franchising and things like that. And I just, the client part of it all is, something that I love so much, just hearing everyone's stories and everyone has a legacy and everyone has a story. So we just made a story chair, actually at our office, and we're going to be starting to take it to events. So a couple of the retirement communities have already called us and said, hey, when are you bringing that story chair here? So it's all
Wait,
purple velvet and it
what is,
matches our
I
color
love
scheme.
it.
wait, who
Yeah.
sits in and tells the stories? What is the story? I need to know more about the story chair.
The story chair, we haven't kind of figured out, like we were hoping to be ready for Christmas because our family was gingerbread houses. Like even my grandma would every Christmas made a gingerbread house, like from scratch, rolling out all the dough, cutting out the house. And at Christmas time, but the upholsterer was so behind. I was like, hey, forget it. It's not going to be ready on time. But we were going to ask people, what's your tradition? What was your tradition during Christmas? So then now, we're going to start taking it around, but we got to start making up maybe some little questions, like, because we don't want to have where we want an answer that's, a few minutes long, right? Where we would ask them a question, maybe relating to an event that we're going to or something like that. So we're working on our story chair, how we're gonna do this and how we're gonna do it. So yeah. So yeah, but that was our thinking, was ask them a brief question relating to something we're doing at a retirement community. Like we were at a retirement community the other day, and it was about cruise living, meaning when you move to retirement, it's like living on a cruise, but the ship never sets sail, but the bus will take you on an excursion,
Right.
right? So, have you ever been on a cruise? What was your favorite thing about a cruise? And sometimes a lot of families, they never even know what happened. So telling these little stories or, builds that legacy or teaching their families on what they never knew.
Wow.
I think this is a fabulous idea. I think families should bring this in. I notice as I'm getting older, Danielle, and I have my grandkids in the car and they're captive audience. They can't jump out, right? I'm telling stories about various things in my life that I haven't talked about before, and they truly do appreciate it, right? That gives them
Yeah.
insight
Yeah.
because all they know is me as an old person. They don't know me as a young person, right? They weren't around.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
like the purple story chair that you're considering. The other thing that really impressed me here was, yes, you're getting a ton done, but you're going around and you're talking to your folks that you work with. What's happening? What did you do? What clients did you work with today? Because you've done each of those jobs, but more importantly, there's a connection, a heart connection to your clients. You love to serve. And now that you're more in the visionary role and the administrative role, you're still wanting to know, how are my clients? Were they well taken care of? Tell me a story. What's going on? So even now, you want to know that they're being well served.
Yeah.
Which is we talked about this before recording, that if we looked at a theme in your life, the theme would be something around service. Is that correct?
Yeah. 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 I always seem to, no matter what, I have a problem with the word no. Um, so that word no doesn't really exist in my vocabulary. I was like, I can do that. I can do that. And I would get myself into all kinds of things. So, but yeah, that was the story of my life. I would get myself buried in a huge fundraiser at the school when my kids were small and things like that, and still, working and doing all kinds of things. And anybody would say, "Oh, just ask Danielle, she'll help you." I can do that, you know.
But having said that, you also believe in team, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes, for
That's
sure.
like one of your core principles, right?
yeah.
When
Oh yeah, you can't do things yourself. You have to have a team. There's just no way, because it's only you. You can only do so much. And then it narrows everything instead of, making a whole bunch of people successful with you, then it grows your success, right?
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. So address this energy you have. I sent a quick text earlier to Tracy about your energy. I said, this woman's got to be ADD, meaning you're just able to process and do so many things. Tell us about this energy thing. And you've already talked about, you really can't say no. If there's a problem, you're going to solve it. You're going to jump in. You're going to do whatever. Would you say you're ADD or just overabundance of energy, or maybe both?
You know what? I have no idea. Um, Actually, I said to my dad, I said, "Dad, I think you're ADD." He was like,
Oh my
"I'm not
gosh, that's funny.
ADD." Um, and I think at some points in time, I was actually talking to someone else at a franchising event a few weeks ago about people with a crazy amount of energy.
Energy, yeah.
And um, he was saying, "Do you think you're ADD?" Like,
So
no. Do
I'm
you?
not the
He's
first to
like,
ask this.
no.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
Um,
we actually had someone, Danielle, I got to tell you, Tracy and I had someone on the show a couple of years ago who considered her ADD a true gift. Do you remember that conversation,
I
Tracy?
remember anxiety is my
She,
superpower. I
Yeah,
remember,
and that was kind of like the same thing. It was like her superpower because of the ability to process so much information and go from this project to that project to that project. And it looks like you've done that and you've combined it with some great organizational skills on top of it. So you're able to multitask effortlessly, where the rest of us would go, holy moly, what just happened, right? There's
Yeah.
too many things going on. You're able to handle it in your mind very easily.
Yeah. And I don't know, I just know I have a crazy amount of energy and, my sales manager sometimes would be like, you're going where? You're doing what now? Like, are you crazy? Like, you've already been here, you've already been at the office for 12 hours today. But, I don't know. I just love it. I don't like to miss out on events. I don't, I'm everywhere. I love to talk about what I do, and meet people. It's just
Maybe it's just
fun
passion,
for me.
Rose. Maybe
It's
it's
just fun for me.
passion.
I don't know.
like you
And then
found,
I make my sister, I'm like, come on, we gotta go. We gotta go. You gotta help dad's business. You gotta go. She's like, oh, again, you're taking me somewhere. I'm like, come on.
Get her
But my
done.
dad still loves to go. If I say to my dad, Dad, we gotta go here. Oh, there's people here. There's an after business. There's this, there's that. He's like, okay, I'm coming, I'm coming. He comes.
cool. That's very cute.
That's
Even
funny.
at 75.
I think it's a gifting. I think this energy is passion driven, which is what this whole show is about, is how passion and purpose collide. And I think this passion you have to serve has made this a one-stop shop, because if you were just moving people, that'd be one thing, but you are painting, you're decorating, you're making arrangements, you're finding furniture to replace furniture. I mean, so this passion you have to serve has made your offering just keeps growing, and what you're able to
Yeah,
do and build teams
yeah,
around you to do it, and your natural organizational skills allows for that. But your brain really does work fast,
yeah.
and that's my specialty, is the brain. So trust me when I say your brain is like lightning speed. um, so very impressive. I hate to do this, but we're kind of coming up on a call, to end of the call. Um, so if you had, my final question for you, if you had a message to get out to the world of franchising, women in franchising, those considering entrepreneurship, what would that message be that really would have an impact on the success that they would have?
Honestly, they have to have passion. They have to have passion in whatever they're doing. If they don't have it, it's going to be a struggle. And business is not easy. Business is hard. You have to work hard. You have to work long hours. You have to have the support behind you as well. Um, you know, my kids are amazing. And I mean, my daughter works with me now, so she can see, the amount of work that goes into being successful, and the passion that I have for it. So as long as you have that passion, drive, and you have a support system behind you, follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. That's all I can say, is follow your dreams. Yeah.
Nice.
Because you don't know where the dream's going to take you. Yeah.
Danielle, if people want more of you or ONESource, how do they get a hold of you?
So they can visit our website, onesourcemoving.ca, or they could always call our office, 519-984-2111, is our head office. Yeah, or they can email me direct right from the website as well. It'll
Nice.
say contact Danielle. There's a scroll down, and they
Yeah.
can contact me. Or franchising, like franchising at onesourcemoving.com is on there as well.
Excellent. So in 30 seconds, tell me what your future looks like. What are you going to be up to 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now? And what is ONESource Moving Solutions going to be up to?
Hopefully, we are all over the world and we are going to be changing the world of moving.
I wished I knew you when I was moving cross country too, because
Yeah.
you forget things, turn off the utilities, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
things that are just difficult.
Yep. We have spreadsheets and checklists.
Spreadsheets and checklists. When I travel with my best friends who, this is the one thing I'm really bad at, Tracy and Danielle. I am the worst packer. I cannot pack a suitcase. I think I'm organized and doing my thing. And then 15 minutes before it's time to leave, I am throwing more things in. And then I throw it completely out and I take some things in, take some things out. It is horrific, the stress that it takes. Just packing a suitcase to go on a 3-day holiday is nerve-wracking for me. And my best friend has a checklist, toothbrush, deodorant, whatever it is, she has a checklist and she can get it done in no time. Where for me, it's a 2-day, very stressful process.
A copy of the
So
checklist.
moving. I cannot even imagine what your checklist looks like for
Yeah.
these folks.
Well, moving is easy. I have the same when I travel. My suitcase was a pound over coming back from Mexico, and I only wore half of what I brought. So
That's usually the
I
way
just
it
don't know what
is.
I want to wear.
So true. Thank you so much for joining us, Danielle. We really appreciate it. Tracy, I'm going to turn it over to you for your final words.
Awesome. Well, Danielle, you're the perfect combination of left brain, right brain. Like Rebecca said earlier, you're so highly organized and able to maintain and build these incredible businesses. And at the same time, you have this knack for making whatever business you're building like an extended family, right? Like it's like there's no stranger in the room, right?
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, it's an extended. How did I write it down? The world is your extended family. That's what I wrote down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We become family for a brief period. Yep.
Yeah,
And they never
for a
forget you.
season.
You're always in the memory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're
For
there
sure.
as vital time in their lives.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Danielle. And thank you to those listening in today to the Franchise Woman podcast, where passion, which is exactly what we're talking about today, and purpose collide, profits are made, and relationships forged. We'll see you next week on another episode. Make sure to like, comment, and share Danielle's interview today, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much for having me.